Hello again. Welcome to part 4 of the Viking dishwasher training. In this section, we're going to be covering the interior and side components. And when you look inside the dishwasher, you'll see that it's completely stainless steel. And the top spec model comes with 3 racks. So you've got the full-size rack for your long knives and longer spatulas, things like that. Your upper rack, which has a spray arm on it as well. And then the bottom rack. And to remove those, to get the full-size rack out, you'll just peel off the little end cap as you see me doing here. And then that entire shelf can come out, rack can come out. For the middle one, you're going to press in on these little tabs on that plastic housing there on the side. Push in, and then you'll hold the side rails and disengage the plastic housing from the rails in the back. And then you can lift that rack out. And of course, the bottom rack, you just pull out as on other dishwashers. To get the bottom wash arm off, you'll just pull straight up to pull it off. And then to disengage the rear tubing, you'll disengage it from the bottom. And then there's 2 metal clips at the back and at the ceiling. You'll just unclip those and pull that out. Okay. Now, at the top of that rear tubing is an upper spray head, and you can just unclip that as well. For that middle wash arm, you would just pull that middle rack out and just unscrew it and pull it off. That's how it comes off. Very simple. The upper rails you can have access to now, and to remove those, you're going to need a T25 Torx, and obviously you remove that rack. And what you're going to do is take the side panels off on both sides. So here you can see the left side is removed, which gives me access to those 4 screws. On the right side, you're going to have to remove these fan funnels by turning counterclockwise, and that will allow you to move the fan funnel out of the way. You don't have to remove it completely. Just notice I set it off to the side so you can access those screws. Then with that Torx bit, you're going to remove the 4 screws. For the last screw, make sure you're holding the rail on the inside so it doesn't fall into the stainless steel interior and dent it. And then you just pull it off like so and replace it. Okay? Now, there's a sticker at the bottom of the door, and it informs the customer that you can't rotate the lower spray arm by pushing on the outer edges of the arm. And that's because this has an oblong or elliptical spin. It doesn't spin in a circle, and that's so that it can get at the corners as it's rotating. So if you want to spin it, which you'll have to do to get at the filter, you're going to need to grab the center of the spray arm and rotate it from the center to get at that filter. So it looks like this. You pull that rack out, and there you can see that sticker at the bottom. And notice to spin this, I just grab the center and turn it. And that gives me access to spin that filter top off and remove it. And then if I want to put it back in, I can just put it in there and then lock it back in place. To get at the hard food disposer, you can just push in on the ears and just move that out and get rid of the larger debris, and then just clip it back into place. Okay. Now let's look at the side components. So you can see the left and right side, which we've briefly seen already. On the left side, you'll see that's where we have the air brake and the flow meter assembly. It's all one piece, and that's held in place by a funnel cap, and then the hoses on the bottom have a drain hose clamp. So to remove that, you're going to twist that funnel cap off there and remove that insulation. Now you're going to see a tube that goes over to the sump. You're going to unplug the flow meter like so. And then you're going to drop it down, and you're going to find 3 more hoses to it. You're going to see your drain hoses. You're going to press in on that little clamp, and it'll unclip it, and then you can remove that. And then you've got the 2 sides of the drain hoses that can come off. Keep them in the proper order. Doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but just for getting them in the right place. And then you've got the fill tube, and you'll just press in on the clamp and remove those. And that's all one assembly. Okay? Over on the right side, we're going to see the fan funnel. And again, this is the high-spec unit, so it'll have that very large fan funnel. You'll also find the ionizer and the vent fan. So to get at those components, again, we're going to have to remove the funnel caps on both the top and bottom. And that will allow us to remove that fan funnel on the side. And you can see I'm disengaging it from the ionizer, unclipping it from the fan housing. I don't cut off the zip tie there. I can just lift it out, and I unplug that hose, and then I remove 2 screws on that vent fan. Now I can pull it out, and now I have access to remove both the ionizer and the fan. So I'm going to unplug the plug to the fan motor and also to the ionizer transformer, and then I'm unplugging the motor to the wax motor, which is inside that little housing on the bottom of the ionizer. And there's your complete assembly. And if I'm just replacing the fan, I can remove the 2 screws over that transformer cover, and that'll come off. And those are the 2 separate components. Okay. You'll also be able to access the door hinges on both sides by removing the side panel. And to remove a hinge, here you can see I've got the door components already removed. So you can see several screws. They're all Torx bits that you'll need. They're all Torx screws. You'll remove all of the ones I'm showing you here. And a couple across the front. And then one more on the inside edge of the cavity. Remove that. And then you can just pull that out and remove the entire door hinge. There's no adjustment on the door hinge. They are a set tension. So if one's not working, there's no way to adjust it. You just have to replace it. Okay, that's the end of part 4. Please continue on to part 5, where we'll cover the bottom components.